Jailton Almeida continued his surge as a heavyweight title contender to watch on Saturday when he submitted Jairzinho Rozenstruik in the first round of the UFC on ABC4 headliner. Now 5-0 in the UFC, the Brazilian gaining a lot of traction as a potential contender in this weight class, maybe even a future champion if he's able to continue on this run. Of course, heavyweight, a very complicated weight class to be looking at the title right now, given Jon Jones holding the belt. We don't know his future beyond a potential matchup with Stipe Miocic, whether he's going to retire and vacate the belt or whatever the case may be. So definitely someone in Almeida's position has a number of fights ahead probably before he's seriously looked at for fighting for the belt. But how can you complain about what he's brought to the table so far? An extremely dangerous ground game. He has only been hit with 2 significant strikes so far in his 5-fight UFC run, and he is really just looking near flawless out there, and it is a big problem for the competition. This heavyweight weight class does not have a ton of high-level grapplers at this point, so for Almeida to come in and make noise in that regard, it's going to be a tough stylistic matchup for pretty much everyone in this weight class, and as he tries to continue to build further and further as a contender. A matchup I would like to see him have next would be against Alexander Volkov. We know Volkov is kind of a litmus test for a lot of guys in this division. UFC loves to put him against fighters who are on their way up, and I think it's Almeida's time to get that test at this point. Of course, we know Volkov, the former Bellator champion, has a ton of height and length on his side, some great striking ability and improving grappling still at this point, and it would be very interesting to see how Almeida would approach that challenge. And I think if he's able to go in there and beat Volkov in the fashion that we just saw him beat Rozenstruik and some of his other UFC opponents, then we're in serious business there. He needs a top 5 opponent. Title eliminator type stuff would start to come up, but I think Volkov would be a good test for him. I know he called out Tai Tuivasa, but to me, not quite as compelling at this point. We know Tai Tuivasa doesn't have a ton to offer on the ground. He does have the heavy hands. We know he's dangerous and can knock anyone out, but right now he is on a bit of a slide, and I think Volkov, who's on a 2-fight winning streak, would be a tougher test at this point for him. So hopefully UFC can get that done. I think Almeida versus Volkov is a compelling matchup, the right fit for this weight class going forward, and a big test on both sides.